The divine connection between animals and the chosen. Have you ever been walking somewhere, completely in your own world, and suddenly a dog stops in its tracks just to stare at you? Or maybe a cat won't leave your side, or a bird flies unnaturally close, almost as if it's delivering a message only your spirit can hear. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and it's definitely not a coincidence. If you are chosen by God, animals know. They see what most humans cannot. And this video, my friend, is going to change the way you see every creature that crosses your path. I'm talking to the chosen ones right now. You know who you are. You've always felt different, like you didn't quite belong in the noise of the world. You've noticed things that others ignore. You feel the shifts in energy. You feel pain that isn't yours. You get messages that don't come from any phone or screen, but from nature, from silence, from spirit. That's because you are deeply connected to the divine. And that connection, it doesn't go unnoticed, especially by animals. Animals operate on a level that isn't bound by words or logic. They sense vibration, they feel energy. They respond to purity, to light, and to divine frequency. And when someone is chosen by God, when someone carries that divine mark, animals respond instantly. It's not something you can fake. It's not something you can earn. It's something you are. And animals? They just know. That's why today's video is so powerful. I'm going to reveal the 9 animals that can sense when someone is chosen by God. These creatures don't just show up randomly in your life. They are messengers. Some come with protection. Others come to awaken something in you. Some come to confirm what your soul has been whispering to you for years, that you are here for something higher. These spiritual animals don't just visit anyone. They appear to those walking the path of truth, light, and divine calling. So I want to invite you to stay with me all the way through this video, because by the time we finish, you're going to look at every animal encounter in your life with entirely new eyes. You'll begin to see what the universe has been trying to tell you all along. You'll understand why certain animals are drawn to you, while others avoid you. You'll see how nature itself confirms your spiritual identity. And if you're feeling that in your spirit right now, go ahead and comment your confirmation number down below. Drop a 777, 444, or even 333 if you've ever felt animals were watching you, protecting you, or showing up just when you needed a sign. Trust me, these numbers carry vibrations, and speaking your confirmation brings alignment. Also, if this message already feels like it's speaking to your soul, go ahead and subscribe to Spirit Guide right now. Tap the bell icon so you don't miss when the Spirit sends the next message through me. And share this with someone else who might be walking the same spiritual path, silently wondering why animals act strange around them. This is the sign they've been waiting for. Now listen. I need to say this with all seriousness. This video isn't just about animals. It's about you. It's about understanding the divine signature that lives in you and how all of creation responds to it. When God chooses someone, it's not just a title. It's an energetic frequency. It's a responsibility. And everything in the natural world, from the wind to the animals, recognizes and honors that. You've probably already noticed that people may turn on you, misunderstand you, or try to put you in a box. But animals? They never lie. They feel truth. And when they're drawn to you, it means your truth is being broadcast into the spirit realm. Many chosen ones experience what I call divine companionship with animals, even wild ones. Deer, birds, or even insects seem to appear during moments of prayer, decision-making, or awakening. They show up not just as observers, but as witnesses to your transformation. That's because when you carry the Spirit of God within, nature itself becomes your ally. Everything becomes symbolic. Everything is spiritual. But make no mistake, not all animals approach the chosen in the same way. Some are drawn to your light. Some are sent to test your readiness. Others are protectors, guardians walking with you through unseen battles. And as we move through this video, you're going to discover which animals are showing up in your life and what that means for your spiritual path. So prepare yourself. This isn't just information. This is revelation. What I'm about to share might explain years of strange encounters. It might explain why you always felt watched, not in fear, but in divine observation. It might finally make sense why animals behave differently when you walk into a room. They aren't just reacting to your presence. They are responding to your purpose. This is your time to see clearly, to understand deeply, and to awaken fully. Let's begin. The spiritual role of animals in divine recognition. Since the beginning of time, animals have played a sacred role in the divine order of the universe. Long before organized religion, before written language, ancient people understood that animals weren't just part of nature. They were messengers, protectors, and even spiritual initiators. In many ways, animals were the first prophets. They lived in harmony with the earth, obeyed the rhythm of the seasons, and operated in full alignment with the unseen. For the chosen ones, those called by God, this relationship is even more profound. Animals don't just live around us. They respond to us. They react to something eternal inside of us. Every chosen one is marked not just spiritually, but energetically. That spiritual mark radiates from your aura, your vibration, your walk, your stillness. And animals pick up on this immediately. They don't need words. They don't need proof. They just know. Animals sense the chosen because they are wired to feel divine frequency. And when they feel that frequency in you, they respond with either reverence, curiosity, or divine recognition. Ancient cultures knew this. They observed it. In Egypt, cats were sacred, not just for protection, but because they were believed to sense spiritual energy. In Native American traditions, animals were considered spirit guides, often appearing during vision quests or spiritual awakenings. Shamans believed that when someone had been touched by the Great Spirit, animals would begin to follow them, approach them, or even show up in dreams. These weren't fairy tales. These were deep spiritual truths that were lived, observed, and passed down. It's not random when animals are drawn to you. It's alignment. It's the universe confirming that you're walking in divine flow. The connection between animals and divine recognition is like a hidden conversation happening beneath the surface of everyday life. Most people walk right past it. But chosen ones, they feel it. They see the synchronicity. They sense when the crow isn't just a bird, but a warning. They know when the dog's bark is more than just noise. It's alerting them spiritually. They can tell when the bird isn't just singing, but carrying a message from the divine. This is what it means to be awake in spirit. It means you recognize that nothing is ordinary anymore. Every interaction with nature becomes sacred. Every animal you encounter becomes a mirror, reflecting something back to you that you need to see. Some animals will be drawn to your light because they see the God in you. Others may act nervous or avoidant because your vibration exposes something in them. And some, the rare ones, will show up again and again, as if sent directly by the Most High to walk with you, even for just a moment. Animals don't need convincing. They don't need titles or church clothes. They see energy. And when they see someone who's chosen by God, they sense that divine fire. They may follow, linger, bow, or simply sit near you without fear. That's not by chance. That's divine recognition. That's nature saying, I see who you are. In today's modern world, we've been conditioned to overlook the spiritual messages all around us. We've been taught that animals are lesser beings, only existing for human use or background beauty. But for the chosen, animals are teachers, observers, guides. Their behavior around you is part of your spiritual curriculum. The hawk flying overhead, the snake crossing your path, the owl hooting outside your window. It all means something, but only if you're spiritually alert enough to pay attention. God often uses the simplest things to deliver the deepest truths, and animals are among his purest tools. They are not corrupted by ego, by greed, or by doubt. They act in perfect obedience to the divine order. So when they respond to you, when they look into your eyes longer than normal, when they refuse to leave your side, understand this. You're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. You are being recognized. Recognized by the unseen. Confirmed by nature. Honored by the creatures that know what holiness feels like. This is the sacred relationship between the chosen and the animal kingdom. A bond that has existed long before words and will remain long after they're gone. Now that you understand the spiritual role animals play in divine recognition, let's look at the specific messengers that appear when you've been marked by God. Because the next time they show up, you won't wonder why. You'll know. Animal 1. Dogs, the guardians of light. There's a reason dogs are called man's best friend. But for the chosen ones, they are much more than that. Dogs are not just companions. They are spiritual sentinels. They have an ancient role as guardians of light, protectors of those carrying divine energy. If you've been chosen by God, chances are dogs act unusually calm around you. Or the opposite. They get excited and protective, even if you've never met them before. That's because dogs don't see the outer shell. They see your light. They feel your vibration, and they respond with loyalty to divine presence. Dogs are incredibly intuitive creatures. They pick up on frequencies, shifts in the environment, and unseen energies faster than most humans. To them, your aura is loud and clear. If you're walking with God's favor, a dog senses it before you even open your mouth. Many chosen ones report dogs approaching them in public, following them for blocks, or even refusing to leave their side. Some dogs will sit at your feet and look up at you, almost in reverence. That's not just affection. It's recognition. They sense something in you that feels like home. Divine energy is comforting, grounding, and powerful. And dogs, with their instinct to protect, will often place themselves near a chosen one, as if guarding sacred ground. This is part of their spiritual assignment. They're not just being friendly, they're standing watch. If you've ever had a dog come up to you out of nowhere, wagging its tail like it's been waiting for you, or stare deep into your eyes like it knows something about you, take it seriously. That animal is reading your spiritual blueprint. It senses the purity, the calling, and the unseen warfare that you may not even be fully aware of yet. You're not just walking through life casually. When you're chosen by God, you're walking through realms, shifting energies, breaking generational curses. Dogs are attuned to that battle. They want to protect the one who's carrying the light. In many spiritual traditions, dogs are associated with loyalty, intuition, and protection from evil forces. Ancient Egyptian mythology honored Anubis, a jackal-headed deity who guarded the afterlife. Even in biblical stories, dogs were known to roam close to the prophetic or the rejected. Two things often true for the chosen. Whether guarding sheep in the physical or walking beside prophets in the spirit, dogs are always close to divine missions. But here's something you may not know. Dogs are often assigned to you. Yes, assigned. Just like angels, certain animals are sent into your path with divine instruction. Some will only stay for a moment, a reminder that you're not alone. Others may stay for years, becoming part of your journey, shielding you from spiritual attacks you never even saw coming. Their presence is not light, it is purposeful. And sometimes their bark isn't just a warning to the natural, it's a signal in the spirit. They'll bark at energies you can't see. They'll growl at people who seem fine on the outside but carry dangerous intentions. Don't ignore that. When a dog reacts strangely to someone, take note. Dogs sense the chosen, but they also sense what threatens the chosen. Their reaction is often your first line of defense. It's also common for chosen ones to experience a stronger connection to dogs after spiritual awakenings or transformations. The deeper your spiritual alignment becomes, the more magnetic your energy is to divine messengers, and that includes animals. You may find dogs becoming overly attached, protective, or even emotional around you. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. And if you've had dogs in your life during difficult seasons, chances are they were absorbing energy you didn't even know how to release. That's what guardians of light do. They don't just walk with you, they carry burdens with you. So the next time a dog comes your way, whether it's wagging its tail, laying at your feet, or standing between you and someone else, don't just see a pet. See a protector. See a spiritual ally who knows exactly who you are and why you've been placed here. See an extension of the divine, responding not to your flesh, but to your calling. Because animals recognize chosen ones, and dogs, they guard them. That's why they are the first on this sacred list. Animal 2, cats, the gatekeepers of dimensions. If you're chosen by God, and cats seem unusually drawn to you, sitting by your side, following you, or staring into your eyes like they're reading your soul, there's a reason for that. Cats are more than just mysterious pets. They are gatekeepers of dimensions, deeply spiritual beings who live between the physical and the spiritual. They walk through unseen realms like they belong there, because they do. And when a chosen one walks the earth, cats often show up to keep watch, to guide, and to confirm. Unlike dogs, who guard the physical and emotional space, cats operate in the spiritual and energetic realm. Their energy is subtle, but powerful. Their movements are deliberate. They don't come to everyone. They're selective. And when they choose to sit beside someone, it's because they sense something ancient in them, something holy, something marked by the divine. Cats recognize chosen ones because they can see beyond the veil. They observe energy fields and vibrations that others can't. This is why they sometimes stare into corners for long periods, or seem to follow invisible beings around a room. To the spiritually dull, it's just weird cat behavior. But to the awakened, it's spiritual surveillance. It's energetic awareness, And when they behave this way around you, it's because your frequency has drawn their attention. Many chosen ones report that cats appear during times of great transformation, especially during awakening, fasting, prayer, or emotional purging. They seem to arrive when your vibration shifts, as if they've been alerted to your spiritual evolution. You might notice a cat suddenly drawn to your home, one you've never seen before. It may sit near your front door, stare into your window, or walk closely without fear. Don't ignore that. Cats are sensitive to divine energy, and they often appear when a portal of purpose has been opened around you. In ancient Egypt, cats were sacred, not just for their beauty or mystery, but because they were seen as spiritual beings that could walk between worlds. Bastet, the feline-headed goddess, was worshipped for her power to protect, heal, and ward off evil spirits. Cats weren't just pets. They were honored as spiritual beings with duties, and that truth hasn't changed. Their roles remain active, especially in the lives of those who are chosen. Have you ever noticed a cat staring at you like it knows your secrets? Or circling around you, rubbing against you, then suddenly retreating like it received the message it needed? These behaviors are deeply symbolic. When a cat engages with a chosen one, it's not just responding to a person, it's aligning with a frequency. Cats will often come near when the divine is trying to anchor peace, heighten awareness, or deliver a message through silence. They are also energetic cleaners. If you've been under spiritual attack, a cat's presence can help absorb or redirect energy. You might notice your mood shift around them, or feel a strange calm after they sit with you. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual recalibration. Cats often carry the role of silent healers, balancing energy in the spaces they inhabit, especially when that space holds a divine soul. And yes, cats are known to appear in dreams too. Many chosen ones receive feline visitations during sleep or meditation. These aren't just dreams. They are dimensional encounters. Cats serve as protectors of the subconscious realm. If you've had a dream with a cat that felt too real to ignore, it may have been more than a dream. It may have been a spiritual visitation meant to guide or protect your inner journey. It's important to understand that cats may not always be warm and affectionate. They aren't here to please. They're here to observe, to guide, and to guard dimensional gates. Their aloofness isn't disinterest, it's discernment. And when they choose to be close to you, it's a divine compliment. So if you've ever wondered why a cat seems to appear at key moments in your life, or why one stares at you like it knows who you really are, it's because it does. It sees the spiritual light around you. It feels the vibration of your calling. It recognizes the frequency of someone chosen by God. Cats don't waste energy. They don't chase meaningless connections. When they're drawn to you, it's because the spiritual realm has acknowledged your presence, and the gatekeepers have arrived to stand watch. Animal 3. Crows, messengers of the spirit realm. Crows are one of the most misunderstood creatures in the natural world. To the average person, they might seem eerie or even threatening. But to the chosen ones, they carry a much deeper significance. Crows are not omens of doom. They are messengers of the spirit realm. These birds are incredibly intelligent, spiritually sensitive, and drawn to those who walk with divine purpose. When you're chosen by God, the crows notice. They don't just fly by. They circle, call out, and sometimes follow you, because they are delivering something that only your spirit can decode. You see, crows exist on the border between the physical and the spiritual. They are creatures of both shadow and light, meaning they can operate in high and low frequencies. This makes them perfect messengers for spiritual truth, especially for those navigating the deeper levels of awakening. If you've ever been in prayer, deep thought, or emotional transformation, and suddenly heard or seen a crow nearby, that's not a coincidence. That's a spiritual transmission. Crows are drawn to the chosen because they recognize awareness. They know when someone is tuned in to the higher frequencies. They're like scouts in the spiritual realm, drawn to those who carry inner vision, purpose, and power. Their presence often comes with confirmation, insight, or warning. Sometimes they appear when you're about to make a life-changing decision, when you're at a crossroads, or when you're under spiritual attack. They come with a message, not always loud, but always clear, if you're listening with your spirit. In many spiritual traditions, crows are seen as keepers of ancient knowledge. In Native American culture, they are considered wise beings who help the living connect with the unseen. In Norse mythology, Odin, the god of wisdom, had two ravens, Hugin and Munin, who brought him knowledge from across realms. Whether they're called crows or ravens, their symbolism is deeply spiritual. And when they show up for you, it's because you've stepped into a space that requires wisdom beyond this world. Crows also represent spiritual evolution. Many chosen ones report seeing crows during or after an awakening. Maybe they begin to appear more frequently after a painful season, or during a personal breakthrough. You might see them perched in odd places, flying overhead in unusual patterns, or even cawing loudly when you enter a space. These are not random behaviors. These are spiritual alerts. When you carry divine light, darkness notices, but so does wisdom. And crows come to remind you to stay vigilant, to stay awake, and to pay attention. And here's something powerful. Crows don't just appear in the physical world. They also show up in dreams, visions, and meditations. If a crow comes to you in your dreams, especially during a time of change or confusion, it may be guiding you toward a truth you've been ignoring. It might be warning you of something or someone that doesn't align with your path. These birds don't sugarcoat. Their presence is sharp and their timing is precise, but they come to protect your purpose, not disturb your peace. Have you ever noticed how a crow seems to follow your car, fly above you, or perch nearby while you're thinking deeply or speaking something important? That's not just an animal in the background. That's a spirit realm observer. That's the divine letting you know. Your words have power, your thoughts have weight, and the heavens are listening. Some chosen ones find that crows appear more frequently after they've fully stepped into their calling. It's like the spirit realm starts sending signals more clearly, and the crows become a part of your guidance system. If you've experienced this, if you've seen crows show up just before a big moment in your life, comment 999 down below. You're not imagining it, you're being informed. Crows are not to be feared by the chosen. They are to be respected. They carry insight from beyond. They bring whispers from the unseen. And when they show up in your life, they are acknowledging your spiritual status. They're saying, "We see you. We recognize your path. And we are here to make sure you don't walk blindly." So don't brush them off. Watch their movements. Listen to their calls. Observe their timing. Because when crows show up, the spirit realm is speaking. And for those chosen by God, the message is always sacred. Animal 4. Butterflies, the symbols of transformation. If there's one creature that embodies the spiritual journey of a chosen one, it's the butterfly. Gentle, delicate, and often silent, butterflies don't just flutter by for no reason. They carry the symbol of transformation, and when they show up around someone chosen by God, it's a divine confirmation that change is unfolding, not just on the outside, but deep within the soul. Butterflies are messengers of spiritual evolution. Their very life cycle reflects what a chosen one goes through. The quiet isolation of the cocoon, the uncomfortable shedding of the old self, and the final breakthrough into light, beauty, and flight. When you've been marked by the Most High, you'll often notice butterflies appearing during moments of growth, pain, or revelation. They don't just appear for aesthetic beauty. They are signs that you're in a sacred season of becoming. Many chosen ones notice butterflies after enduring trials, heartbreak, betrayal, silence, or separation. These seasons feel like death, like the soul is breaking apart. But that's when God is doing his deepest work. And just when you begin to emerge from that pain with clarity, you see it. A butterfly. It lands near you, or flies across your path, or simply hovers for a moment. That's not a random event. That's a divine nod. That's heaven whispering, you made it through. You are being renewed. Butterflies are also highly sensitive to vibration. Like many spiritual animals, they are drawn to purity, softness, and high frequencies. When someone is in alignment with God's will, when they're walking with obedience and intention, butterflies often show up as subtle confirmations. Their presence is peaceful, quiet, and reassuring. It's not loud, it doesn't demand attention, but it speaks volumes. Have you ever noticed how butterflies appear when you're deep in prayer or reflection? Maybe while you're journaling, meditating, or walking in silence. That's not by chance. Butterflies are drawn to stillness and presence, the exact qualities that become magnified in someone chosen by God. Your spirit emits a vibration that resonates with creation, and butterflies pick up on that signal. They are nature's way of showing that you are entering a new spiritual frequency. In many cultures, butterflies symbolize the soul itself. In ancient Greek, the word psyche meant both soul and butterfly. Indigenous tribes believe butterflies are ancestors or angels in disguise, visiting the living to offer guidance or comfort. When a butterfly comes close to you or refuses to leave, it's often believed that a spiritual message is being delivered, sometimes from heaven itself. Chosen ones are constantly undergoing transformation. You are not allowed to stay stagnant. God will continue to refine you, test you, and elevate you. And each time you rise higher, butterflies will be there to affirm your transition. They show up as spiritual timestamps, marking the end of one chapter and the sacred beginning of another. They may also appear during seasons where you don't yet see the transformation, but it's already happening in the unseen. You may still feel stuck or in pain, but when that butterfly appears, it's a prophetic symbol. You are closer than you think. Keep going. So if you've been seeing butterflies more than usual, around your home, at places you visit, even in your dreams, take notice. You are being watched by heaven. You are being reassured that your journey is valid, your growth is real, and your transformation is being witnessed by the spirit realm. Butterflies don't visit everyone. They are drawn to energy that has gone through the fire and emerged pure. And if they're showing up for you, it means your spirit is becoming something rare and beautiful. You are not who you were. You are becoming who God made you to be, and the butterfly is here to show you just how far you've come. Let it land, let it speak, let it remind you, you are chosen and you are transforming. Animal 5. Owls, the eyes of the unknown. When an owl appears in your life, especially if you've been chosen by God, it is never random. These powerful, mystical beings are not just birds of the night. They are eyes of the unknown, keepers of hidden knowledge, watchers of the spirit realm. Owls have long been associated with wisdom, vision, and mystery. But for the chosen ones, their presence means even more. It is a sign that you are being called into deeper awareness, that you are entering a season where discernment and divine insight are not just helpful, they are essential. Owls don't operate in the daytime noise like many other creatures. They move in silence, navigating darkness with clarity and confidence. That alone should tell you something. Chosen ones are often called to move differently, not loudly, not publicly, but with precision and purpose. When an owl shows up in your physical space, or even in your dreams, it's a spiritual alert. It's the Most High reminding you to pay attention to what others can't see. Many people fear owls because they are associated with night, and night is often misunderstood. But the darkness isn't evil, it's revealing. The owl sees through illusion, through deception, through masks. And if you've been chosen by God, you will be required to walk through seasons where truth is hidden. That's when the owl comes, not to scare you, but to guide you. If you've ever seen an owl appear during a season of confusion, doubt, or decision-making, take that as a divine sign. Owls don't show up to waste time. They come when you're being invited to open your spiritual eyes wider. Maybe something in your life isn't what it seems. Maybe a person, opportunity, or even your own thoughts need to be examined more deeply. Owls appear when the unseen must be discerned, and that's a gift given only to those who are ready to walk in deeper truth. In Native American and African spiritual traditions, owls are often seen as spiritual advisors, beings who cross the boundaries between this world and the next. They carry knowledge from the ancestors, from God, and from realms beyond what we can comprehend. When they call out to you, whether through a visible appearance or a hoot in the silence of night, they're doing more than making noise. They're activating your spiritual sensitivity. Chosen ones often have the gift of discernment, the ability to see beyond appearances. But that gift must be developed, sharpened, tested. That's where the owl comes in. When an owl lingers near your home, sits quietly on a branch, or locks eyes with you, it's a mirror. It's the spirit saying, look deeper, trust your inner knowing. The truth is in the silence. It's not uncommon for those on a divine path to start seeing owls in synchronicity, on shirts, in media, in dreams, or as random encounters. Don't ignore those signs. When the same symbol keeps showing up, especially a spiritual one like an owl, it means the realm beyond is trying to speak with you, and the message is simple. It's time to see what others can't. Some chosen ones are called into prophetic vision, spiritual leadership, or wisdom-based missions, and these are all deeply aligned with the owl's symbolism. The owl doesn't just observe, it understands. And if you've been given a mission that requires navigating deception, spiritual warfare, or hidden truth, the owl is one of your most powerful spiritual allies. So if you've been encountering owls in any form, don't push it aside. Sit with it. Ask what you need to see. Ask what truth is trying to be revealed. Owls don't operate in chaos. they enter with purpose. They enter to guide. They enter when the chosen are ready for revelation. Remember, being chosen by God isn't always about light and ease. Sometimes it's about walking through the shadows with vision. And the owl walks with you because it sees everything, even what you're not yet ready to admit. Let the owl be your reminder. You are not chosen to walk blindly. You are chosen to see deeply, truly, spiritually. And the owl is watching, making sure you do. Animal 6. Horses, carriers of noble energy. There's something majestic about a horse. Its presence commands attention without needing to make a sound. Its strength is balanced with grace. Its eyes, full of emotion and ancient knowing, seem to see right through you. For the chosen ones, horses are not just beautiful creatures. They are carriers of noble energy, drawn to those who carry divine authority and spiritual royalty. When you've been chosen by God, your energy carries a certain weight. You may not always feel it, but others, especially animals, sense it. Horses, in particular, are drawn to that quiet confidence, that spiritual strength that comes from being anchored in something greater than the world. These animals have long been symbols of power, purpose, and freedom. And when they respond to your presence, it's a reflection of the noble calling that rests on your life. Horses are incredibly intuitive beings. Despite their size and power, they are sensitive to emotional energy, both positive and negative. They react not to how you act on the surface, but to who you are within. This is why chosen ones often experience unique encounters with horses, moments where a horse becomes unusually calm around them, approaches them without fear, or maintains steady eye contact as if reading their soul. These are not random moments. These are spiritual confirmations. In many ancient cultures, horses were considered sacred partners in battle, travel, and even prophecy. Kings, warriors, and prophets rode them, not only as a sign of status, but because horses could sense danger, direction, and destiny. They knew when to run, when to stop, and when to stand firm. In scripture and prophecy, horses are often tied to divine missions, heavenly beings riding them, visions of war and victory involving them. These weren't just poetic symbols. They pointed to the truth that horses are connected to heavenly authority. If you've ever been around horses and felt a strange pull in your spirit, a sense of peace, or even a stirring in your soul, that's because your energies were meeting. Your divine identity was aligning with theirs. Horses mirror back what we carry. If you're grounded in spiritual truth, they'll become calm around you. If you're walking in uncertainty or fear, they may reflect that back. But for the chosen ones, horses often respond with trust and respect, even if you've never handled one before. That's because they recognize the noble spirit within you. Horses also represent freedom, but not the chaotic kind. It's disciplined freedom, purposeful movement. Chosen ones are not called to live in bondage. They are called to walk in divine liberty, spiritual clarity, and inner mastery. And horses remind you of that. They embody a life that's powerful but controlled, fast but focused. When you watch them run, you're not just seeing motion, you're seeing what your spirit was designed for: to move with power, to be led by the wind of the Spirit, to carry purpose with strength and elegance. Some chosen ones even encounter horses during dreams or meditative states. A white horse, in particular, is a strong spiritual sign. It often symbolizes purity, destiny, and divine protection. If you've seen one in a dream, especially during a time of decision or transition. Take that seriously. It's not just a dream. It's a divine message, letting you know that you're being led into a new realm of power and purpose. So whether you're around horses physically, or they've been appearing symbolically in your life, pay attention. These animals are drawn to those marked by God because they serve a higher resonance. They honor divine assignments. They align with noble energy. If a horse has been unusually drawn to you, stopped to look at you, or simply moved differently in your presence, understand this: you are not just seen, you are recognized. Because horses don't follow the crowd, they follow the calling. And if they're drawn to you, it's because you carry the presence of divine authority, and they are ready to walk beside it. Animal 7. Deer, the gentle emissaries of peace. When a deer crosses your path, stops to stare at you, or simply lingers in your presence without fear, it's not just a peaceful moment in nature, it's a divine encounter. Deer are gentle emissaries of peace, sent to those whose spirits are marked by God. If you are chosen, the presence of a deer around you often carries a powerful message from the divine. Remain still, remain pure. You are seen, you are safe. Deer embody spiritual gentleness. They move through the world with grace, alertness, and calm strength. And that's exactly why they are drawn to the chosen ones, because your energy matches theirs, not in appearance, but in essence. Chosen ones often walk through life with a quiet strength. You may not always speak loudly, but your presence is felt. You don't need to demand attention. Your peace speaks volumes. That's the same energy the deer carries. And when it approaches you, it's recognizing that same divine frequency within you. Many chosen ones experience deer during seasons of healing, surrender, or transition. If you've been going through emotional pain, spiritual confusion, or soul-level growth, and a deer appears, that's not random. It's a message. It's the Most High saying, "Peace is coming, breathe, you are protected." The deer comes not to challenge you, but to calm you. Its stillness reminds you to stop striving and start trusting. Its presence is often a response to the cry of your soul, the part of you that needs reassurance that you're not alone on the path. In biblical symbolism, the deer represents longing for God, a pure heart, and spiritual pursuit. Psalm 42 says, "As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my God." That's not just poetic, it's prophetic. The deer is a reflection of the soul that seeks God with sincerity and hunger. When a chosen one carries that level of desire for truth, purity, and divine connection, the deer responds. It approaches because it feels safe in your presence, and because it sees something holy in your spirit. Deer are also extremely sensitive. They can pick up the slightest movement, the most subtle sound. That's why it's so significant when they don't run from you. If a deer pauses and holds eye contact, or stands still instead of bolting, it's honoring your energy. It's responding to your calm. It's recognizing that you are not a threat, but a vessel of light. Some chosen ones even encounter deer repeatedly, not just once, but multiple times throughout key life moments. You might see them near your home, during travel, or in dreams. You might sense their presence during times of prayer or solitude. These aren't just beautiful nature moments, they are spiritual appointments. Every time a deer shows up, it carries the energy of stillness, reassurance, and divine presence. It's a signal that you are in alignment, and that your spirit is being watched over by the Most High. There's a softness in deer that mirrors the heart of someone chosen. Not weak, but gentle. Not passive, but deeply aware. The chosen ones are not called to be loud warriors all the time. Sometimes you are called to carry peace into chaos, to walk in love where others carry judgment, to embody divine stillness in a world addicted to noise. The deer reminds you of that calling. So if you've seen deer lately, if they've come close to you or shown up in your dreams, take it seriously. That is not just an animal sighting. That is spiritual confirmation. Comment 444 below if you felt this message in your spirit, or if you've had encounters with deer that felt too personal to be random. Remember this: when a deer looks at you, it sees more than your face. It sees your heart. And when it lingers, it's not just admiring you. It's acknowledging the divine peace within you. Because nature responds to the chosen. And the deer? It bows in recognition. Animal 8. Birds. Whisperers of divine messages. Birds have always held a sacred place in the spiritual world. They soar between heaven and earth, moving freely across realms, carrying whispers on the wind. When someone is chosen by God, birds often appear not just as signs, but as whisperers of divine messages. They don't come randomly. Their song, their flight, even the moments they cross your path, all carry meaning. For the chosen ones, birds become messengers of clarity, peace, warning, and affirmation. You may have already noticed it. Birds showing up at specific moments. A dove landing nearby during prayer. A small bird singing outside your window just when you were feeling heavy. A hawk circling above when you were contemplating a major decision. These are not coincidences. Birds are highly sensitive to spiritual energy, and they are often used by the Most High to deliver messages to those who are truly listening. Chosen ones are deeply connected to the frequency of truth. That means your soul picks up on divine cues more easily, and birds recognize that energy. They are drawn to purity, light, and alignment. That's why they appear more often in the lives of those who are marked by God. Whether it's a single feather, a repetitive bird call, or a flock flying in a unique pattern above you, birds are delivering messages, subtle yet powerful. In the Bible, birds were often used as signs. The dove is a perfect example. After the great flood, Noah released a dove, and when it returned with an olive branch, it was a divine confirmation of peace and new beginnings. That same symbol is still active today. If a dove appears to you in a quiet moment, especially when you're in a place of spiritual seeking, understand it's not just nature being beautiful. It's heaven speaking peace into your life. It's God saying, "You're covered, you're safe, a new season is near." Other birds carry other meanings. Hawks, for example, are often seen as birds of vision and focus. When they show up, it's usually a sign to rise above the distractions and see things from a higher perspective. They come to chosen ones when discernment is needed. On the other hand, smaller birds, like sparrows or finches, bring reminders of joy, trust, and lightness. Their presence is often a nudge from the divine to not carry the world on your shoulders, to stay soft, to stay light. Some chosen ones even hear specific bird songs repeatedly, especially in moments of prayer or emotional heaviness. That's no accident. The spiritual realm often uses sound to get your attention, and a bird's song is one of the purest vibrations in nature. It's not just pleasant to the ears. It's healing to the soul. And yes, birds also appear in dreams and visions. If you've dreamed of birds flying toward you, or one resting on your shoulder, that may represent a direct message from the spirit realm. Depending on the bird and the feeling in the dream, it could mean a shift is coming, a message is being delivered, or you're being reassured by divine presence. Dreams with birds should never be brushed off, especially if you're chosen. You are being shown signs in ways that others simply won't understand. Remember, birds don't fly without purpose. They don't sing for no reason. When they come into your space, they are reflecting the movement of spirit. And when you're chosen by God, spirit often uses the natural to deliver the supernatural. So if birds have been flying close, if they've been unusually bold around you, or if they show up when your heart is crying out for answers, listen. Don't just look with your eyes. Hear with your spirit. Because when birds whisper, heaven is speaking. And to the chosen ones, those whispers are never ignored. Animal. 9. Snakes, the guardians of rebirth and awakening. Snakes are perhaps the most feared and misunderstood creatures in the animal kingdom. For many, they represent danger, deception, and darkness. But for the chosen ones, those walking the divine path, snakes carry a far deeper meaning. They are guardians of rebirth and awakening, ancient symbols of transformation, spiritual evolution, and divine activation. If you are chosen by God, and snakes appear around you or in your dreams, you are not being cursed. You are being called. Snakes are direct, unapologetic teachers of spiritual truth. They do not approach without purpose. In nearly every sacred tradition, the snake is tied to awakening, Kundalini energy, rebirth, and deep inner transformation. They move silently, sensing vibrations through the ground. They dwell in the earth, yet they shed their skin to grow. A perfect reflection of the chosen one's journey. You too must shed your old layers, your false beliefs, your conditioned responses to step into who God has called you to be. Snakes remind you that transformation isn't always beautiful, but it is always necessary. If you're seeing snakes often, crossing your path, appearing in dreams, or showing up in images repeatedly, it's likely you are in or approaching a season of major spiritual awakening. The snake doesn't warn of destruction. It signals evolution. It is a gatekeeper of the next level, and only the brave, only the spiritually sensitive will recognize its presence as a divine appointment rather than a threat. For the chosen ones, snakes are sacred initiators. They don't flatter you with their presence. They confront you. They invite you to go deeper. When a snake shows up in your life, it's usually because something inside of you is ready to awaken, something that has been dormant, buried, or long ignored. It might be spiritual gifts, a new level of consciousness, or a divine assignment you've been running from. The snake doesn't offer comfort, it offers clarity. Cold, clear, undeniable truth. In ancient symbolism, especially in African and Eastern spiritual systems, snakes represent divine power, healing, and protection. The serpent wrapped around a staff, known as the rod of Asclepius, is still used as the universal symbol for healing. In the Bible, Moses lifted up a bronze serpent in the wilderness to bring healing to the people. Jesus himself referenced that symbol. These aren't coincidences. The snake is a powerful vessel of divine movement, especially when that movement is meant to bring you out of who you were and into who you were called to be. Many chosen ones resist this phase because it often comes with discomfort. Snakes bring up fear. That's part of their role. Not to harm you, but to make you confront what you haven't healed. When a snake comes near you, it may stir something inside, a panic, a memory, a sense of urgency. Don't ignore it. That reaction is a spiritual mirror showing you what still needs to be faced. The only way through rebirth is by passing through the fire of your own truth. And snakes guard that fire. If you've been dreaming of snakes, especially ones that shed their skin, coil peacefully or speak without words, take those dreams seriously. You're being invited into higher awareness. You're being told, it's time to rise. Snake dreams are common in those receiving spiritual downloads, prophetic insight, or undergoing a deep inner awakening. You are not being threatened. You are being transformed. So don't run from the snake. Learn from it. Watch it. Honor it. Recognize that it doesn't come to the unchosen. It comes to the one who is ready to evolve, to awaken, to move from the old into the divine new. You don't fear transformation anymore because you've been marked by God. And the snake? It sees that mark. It honors it. It protects the threshold you're about to cross. Because those who are chosen will always be called into death by the old self. And the snake will always be there, waiting to guide you into rebirth. Spiritual conclusion. When nature confirms the divine in you, take a deep breath for a moment. Reflect on everything you've just heard. From the loyal dog to the mysterious cat. From the silent owl to the powerful horse. From the whispering bird to the awakening snake. Each animal you've encountered is more than just a creature passing through your day. If you are chosen by God, they are confirmations from nature that your identity in the Spirit is real, active, and recognized. You may have thought you were alone on this path, moving through your spiritual journey quietly, unnoticed by the world. But I'm here to tell you that nothing about your walk is hidden from the spiritual realm. And nature? It sees you, it feels you, it responds to you. Creation itself bends toward the chosen ones. The signs are everywhere. They show up in feathers, in eyes that stare too long, in creatures that don't flee from your presence, because your energy speaks before you ever say a word. God's creation was designed to recognize His presence, and when His presence dwells within you, the earth testifies to it. Animals sense the chosen. They recognize the ones walking with divine purpose. They don't need scripture to know who you are. They don't need your past or your resume. They read the Spirit, and the Spirit cannot lie. You might have dismissed these moments before. That butterfly landing on you, that deer standing still in your path, that crow appearing on the day everything changed. But now you know better. You're no longer asleep. You're awake. And when you're awake, you understand that everything around you has a voice, a message, a vibration. You just have to be still enough to hear it. Nature doesn't flatter. It doesn't exaggerate. It simply responds. And the fact that it responds to you is proof that there is something extraordinary within you. You are not here by accident. You were not chosen for comfort. You were chosen for purpose. And that purpose echoes in every creature that draws near to you. This is your confirmation. If animals have been showing up around you more than usual, it's because the divine within you is becoming more visible, more undeniable. Your aura is shifting. Your spirit is aligning. And the world, the spiritual and the natural, is taking notice. That's why these animals appear. Not to entertain you, not to scare you, but to honor you. You are carrying something sacred, something eternal, something that even the birds in the sky and the creatures on the ground can't ignore. You carry God's presence, and when you carry that, nothing around you will ever treat you the same. Don't brush off what you're experiencing. Don't minimize the signs. God speaks through nature all the time, to those who have the ears to hear. Now is the time to step into that awareness. Be intentional with what you see. If an animal keeps returning, appearing in dreams, following you, or behaving unusually around you, sit with it. Ask what the message is. Ask what God is showing you. You'll be amazed at what opens up when you give space for the Spirit to speak through creation. And if this entire message resonated with you, if you've had even one of these animal encounters and it hit something deep in your soul, I want you to comment 666 or 999 down below. These numbers hold powerful spiritual frequency, the number of deep awakening and divine alignment. Claim your confirmation. Speak it into the atmosphere. Also, if this video stirred something real in you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to Spirit Guide. Tap the bell icon so you never miss another divine message, and most importantly, share this with someone else who's walking the path of the chosen. Someone who may not understand why animals act strange around them. This could be the clarity they've been praying for. Remember, when you are chosen by God, nothing around you stays silent, not even nature. The animals know, the earth knows, your soul knows. Now walk in that truth, boldly, humbly, and fully awake.